40.
I think a lot of us look better on camera than we do in real life. I'm not going to say any names, but I've met a lot of YouTubers, and when I meet them in real life, I often find that the guys who I think of as slim and fit sometimes are just slim and fit when they stand like this.
That's the thing about YouTube, and I know, but not just YouTube. That's the thing about being on camera. You know your angle, right? Like, Kyle, what's your most handsome angle? I even know it, but go on.
Right.
Yeah, right? That's the thing. You know that picture of Kyle that everyone shows? Let me see if I can find the picture of Kyle.
It's like looking down at him when he's at about like waist level.
And like, here it is. This is the image I was looking for.
I like being me because I don't have a good side. I'm always ugly. I'm real comfortable with that. You know?
My best side is from behind. Try to stay back there.
It's here. Oh shucks, I got like
If I
the
had
gigantic
enough
version.
Technical expertise, I could probably find a good side.
This is a good Kyle picture.
Sure,
I'll share it with the world.
My vanity knows no bounds.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and click.
Oh.
I hate that one.
Dude, that picture looks good. You don't hate it. It's been in your like promotional material.
No, it hasn't.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
I swear.
I've told
I fucking love this picture.
On
It's
this
like-
show, I had a
like your high
conversation
school.
about how much I hate that picture. That one in particular. That was taken by this scumbag Russian photographer at a machine gun shoot. It's not like
No.
what do they call them? Like
No,
when,
it wasn't. That was your
No.
high school.
No,
Your picture.
no,
at the end
I
of
did
high
not.
school.
I didn't have any
Guaranteed.
facial hair like that in high school. I don't think. Listen,
Oh, you
no.
mean like that? That grizzled beard
Oh, just-
you're
just-
rocking? You couldn't
Yeah,
have had that
I-
in high school.
Listen, I'm like 26 in that picture. It's 25, I think. But no, that I was at a machine gun shoot. I was sitting on a bench. I was tired of shooting because it was this thing where they had paid me to. I don't know that they paid me to come there, but it was one of those things where it was like all the ammo you want, just shoot and have fun. And they literally had a truck full of ammo, and I'd been shooting all day, and I was really tired, and I was just sitting there, and I'm sitting like this, and I look up. And
No,
there,
you look up. No. Look up differently. You look up coyly, like you know something everyone else doesn't know.
yeah, I'm looking up like, why the fuck do you have that enormous lens? Like I'm just like fucking with his lens and adjusting the ISO or something over there. Like he's going to town. Like it's a
You don't
professional.
adjust the ISO in the lens. Anything else you could have gone with, but that's an in-body adjustment.
Haha! Woody called you on your shit.
Yeah, I'm just camera things. Just saying camera things. That's all.
That's definitely a thing. You can't tell how old people are just from their photos or their images through webcam. I'm actually 51. That's the shock.
But when you're on camera a lot, you start to know your angle. Me, for example, I have a big nose, right? So I should be straight into the camera. If I look straight into the camera and keep my chin up, that is my best look. And I feel like everyone kind of figures that out. It like doesn't take long before you realize like, yeah, this is how I should be.
That's
When
your
we-
best angle, Boogie.
I think Boogie's.
that's
your best angle.
That is my favorite promotional pic we've ever filmed. Well, when I promised everybody that if I hit a certain subscriber milestone, I think it might have been a charity drive. I promised I'd post nudes if it happened, and so that's the nude I posted for everybody.
What is in your
See, with that sheet over you, you look so cherubic and angelic, just ready to save people. I like it.
I could totally
What's in your
titty fuck Boogie.
Oh, you could. I mean, I wouldn't let you.
I'd push him together.
Because I want you inside me. Honestly.
Yeah.
Just-
All right, well, thank you.
It'd be an honor, Woody.
Like, I titty fuck. This was not a consensual titty fuck I was proposing. Hey, sir, was that if I wanted to, I could titty rape you.
A little Rohypnol and some wet platinum, and we'll go to town.
I met, speaking of YouTubers, this is going to totally embarrass her if she ever hears this, but chances of her watching the show is pretty much 0 to 9. I met a lot of YouTubers and a lot of industry folks at when I went to Vegas this last year for the Video Game Awards or whatever, and it was super awesome. I met like Reggie from Nintendo. I met I met like Peter Moore, which is a hell of a good story, by the way. But it was really weird because some of them knew me. But I met iJustine. Do you guys know her?
Yeah.
I know
She
of her.
was the nicest human being I have ever fucking met.
She's super cool.
I could not believe how incredible she was.
We talked about how some people look better on camera than they do in real life.
She looks better in real life.
She looks fantastic in real life.
I couldn't believe it. My wife is like, she is just so beautiful. It's hard to look at her.
She's tiny.
I'm old now, and like that part of me is like almost dead. Honestly, I have testosterone supplements to try to keep that part of me alive, But I'm like, oh yeah, she's kind of, pretty. I guess.
I danced with her at PAX East once. I danced with everyone that night. It was non-consensual dancing, really. Go on.
But she was. I've never in my life, because I'd heard like stories about her or whatever, and one of the biggest stories you hear about her is she's not a real gamer. She's not a real gamer, and I've even perpetuated that once. A long time ago, I made that joke in a public place. I forget where it was, maybe my subreddit or something like that. I'm like, so she's like, I hate that comment, and I'm like, well, what are you playing right now? She's like, Smash. And I'm like, well, who's your main right now? And she's like, I really like Pac-Man. I don't know what to do with his down B, though. His fire hydrant attack is like real. And I'm like, oh, shit. So you are like a real gamer, right? He's like, Pac-Man's the best in Smash right now. He's like super imba. He's like super good if you know how to play him. His down B is really weird. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, so you are a real gamer. And then we talked about League. We talked about all the other games she played. It was just amazing. It was weird. But that's what reminded me of her, was she was actually prettier in real life than she is on the internet.
She is.
Really weird.
Jenna Marbles
Kyle is also
prettier
in real life.
Kyle is prettier in real life than on the internet too. Merker,
Exactly.
I don't know if you're joking, but I saw Kyle at the paintball event.
Joking.
Kyle is at his peak hotness right now.
I'm peaking.
You really are. You are adorable. Like you really are.
Kyle's a hot fellow.
We
you should see me in a jockstrap.
We should be clear. I rate about a 1 on the
And I
Kinsey scale.
enjoy
I rate about a 1 on the Kinsey scale, just enough to be able to be slightly aware of how hot a dude is. And Kyle, you could get me up to a 2, buddy.
Well,
I'm
thank
telling
you.
I'm not gay, but for Kyle,
right?
That means a lot to me. Thank you very much. I've noticed, over the last maybe 6 months, like a lot of dudes just been letting me know that I'm looking good. They're like, Kyle, you've been working out. You look great. Not one girl. It's like, oh, you are looking great. It's like 15 dudes who are just like, Kyle's looking nice. I'd like to look like Kyle.
When I was in my 20s, actually, it was really kind of weird because I've never had that much trouble with girls, and I don't think it's any of this alpha beta shit. I've just always been confident in who I am. But every girl I've ever dated approached me. I've never approached a woman, wouldn't even know where to begin. If I talk to a woman, it's never like game or anything like that. I just talk to a woman, and I treat her the way I would treat anybody else in this room or any other human being I'd ever treat. I'd ask them what their interests were. I find a common interest. I talk to them about it. If it leads somewhere, that's great. If it doesn't, who gives a shit? But now that I'm married, I mean, all that's behind me, obviously.
Well, it's not about game and that shit. It's making them laugh.
Right.
It's about making them laugh. That's a huge thing.
But I've only been in about 7 relationships.
So that they don't notice when you drop the Rohypnol in. They start laughing.
Exactly.
And you're just like,
yeah. They'll notice the subtle movements of your hand over their drink, and then they won't drink it, and the whole night's lost. Because then you have to leave that bar.
And then you're down $50 worth of Rohypnol again.
Exactly. And then it's just a waste, and you bring that drink to another bar and set it in front of someone else.
You need better connections. I get my roofies way cheaper.
Really?
50 months is a month's supply for me.
Anyway, look at this guy.
I don't have a drug guy at all.
Of course not.
In my middle 20s, I had a period of time. In my middle 20s, I had a period of time where I was way more attractive to dudes than I was girls. And so, like, I was not meeting any girls. I wasn't talking to any girls. But I would, like, be at a gas station playing, like, their fucking arcade game or whatever. And, like, a guy would come up to me and put his hands on me and be like, oh, I don't really like the way you play that game. And I'm like, what is happening? Why am I like
that? Happened.
That's reality. That exact story happened. That's the part on Garland in Fayetteville, Arkansas. They had the Marvel versus Capcom machine. I'm playing that thing. I think it was Marvel versus. It's one of the Marvel fights.
One moment. Did he happen to have like a cup full of quarters?
No.
No, you said he put your hand on. Did he put his hands on both shoulders?
He put one hand on my back.
Uh-huh.
He stood to my right because I'm on the left-hand stick. He puts his hand on my back and then puts his right hand on my arm and says, I really like the way you're playing that game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. And he goes, you've got really nice hands. And I'm like, well, thanks, dude. And I'm like, I just left because I didn't know what to do with that because I wasn't interested. But I don't want to insult the guy because I'm glad that he's interested. I'm glad that he's found something he likes, but I don't reciprocate it, so I just want to go.
So
let me ask you
you
this.
were in an arcade. You were in an arcade.
No, this is in the back of a
that.
gas station. So.
Do you have awesome calves? I need to know because you might.
Awesome calves?
Yeah.
But he does have awesome
I have
calves.
like lymphedema down there. It's like really scary.
Oh,
that
I
sucks.
thought that was a chance too. Because there's this thing about me and my calves, this legend, whatever. And Wings of Redemption was like, I'd like to see these calves. And his weren't that defined, but holy fuck. Like we both held an Xbox controller next to them for scale. Wings of Redemption's calves are powerful. They are huge and they dwarf an Xbox controller. He's a legit competitor.
I have big thighs, and there is a little bit of fat on them, obviously. But I have real powerful thighs, and I would imagine my calves are probably real powerful. Just who would know because of all that lymphedema down there? I mean, it's like a
Will that go away if you cut the weight?
Nope. That's stage one or stage. Okay, lymphedema. All right, if you're a big guy and you have swelling in your legs, it could be for one of two reasons. Number one is congestive heart failure, and if you're suffering from congestive heart failure, go to the doctor immediately before you fucking die, okay? If you have swelling in your legs, go to a doctor immediately, okay? Second reason is because of lymphedema or some sort of venous stasis disease, and basically you have an insufficiency in your either lymph system or blood system that keeps everything from getting
in
up
your
where it
legs,
needs
go
to
to the doctor. What if your legs are just swole?
Shut up, Woody.
Woody, goddammit, you're ruining his story. Jesus, Woody.
Woody, is that room? I have a question. Is that room you're in just incredibly enormous, or is that a tiny door at the end of it?
It's a tiny door. It's a tiny door.
Okay, just checking, making sure that wall wasn't 150 feet away. All right, good to know.
Dude, when I got water, remember before the show I had to go get water? I'm sorry I'm ruining your story, Boogie.
No.
The water was in the guest house. So I actually hopped in the golf cart, drove over to the guest house, got some water, and came back.
Why is the door so tiny?
It's to an attic.
You ever seen the movie The Borrowers? It looks like a couple of borrowers are going to cruise.
I wish I could show you better.
Yeah,
you wanna see?
Nobody's seen The Borrowers? That's a terrible movie.
Oh, does it have like little animals and stuff?
That's a real good place to keep the corpses, just to be honest with you.
It is.
Yeah, because it's dry up there. You know,
Look at that.
you mummify them, they're not going to rot.
But at the same time, you can't go into a room in someone's home and see something like that and think they aren't a maniac. Because no one who's not a maniac has use for that.
So what you do is
that-
you put a sign on that door that says "No corpses allowed."
Yeah,
then the people won't
you
check.
diffuse the suspicions.
Exactly.
Yes.
What did you, wait, what allowed? I missed it.
Oh, we were talking about how someone who has that door in their home looks like a homicidal maniac. But that you're definitely not.
That's the one we made that like packing for paintball video in. It's a big attic. It's like, well, no,
that's so cool.
It's not big.
Wait,
big for an attic.
where are you in your home right now? You're not in the basement anymore.
No, this is I guess it's a bedroom, but I'm using
We
it
was
as
never
an
in the
office.
basement.
It's above the kitchen, on the northern part of the house.
Wow. You mean to say you're using 8% of your bedrooms as a broadcasting center? That's pretty impressive. It's good for you. Good to have one.
That's going to get you in a lot of trouble when you file for that home office tax exemption. Because now we know exactly how much space.
Yeah, and how many bodies?
But to answer your question, lymphedema is an insufficiency in either the blood or the lymph system that causes swelling. And after a period of time, that swelling will turn into a sponge-like material. And that sponge-like, because the body's got to find a way to store that extra fluid some way. And that sponge-like material will never go away aside from surgery.
Wait, so it becomes a sponge-like... So the fluid accumulates around the ankles or whatever, and then eventually the flesh around there just becomes like spongiform, and it just absorbs that back in?
Right. I can compress it and get the liquid out of there, which I do several days a week. And there's also, I mean, it's excruciating to compress them, like actual hell. Like it's literally just white hot fire nightmare hell.
Do you have to do it with both ankles or just one ankle?
Yeah, I have to wear these compression socks on them, and I have to. Then on top of that, I'm also adding ace bandages on the outside now, and I try to tighten it up even more. And I get that fluid out of there. And if I don't do that, it'll continue to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so it's like,
Christ.
and it makes walking unbearably uncomfortable. Like everybody's like, well, Boogie, all you gotta do is walk like several miles a day. Well, walking is just unbearably painful. Like I just can't describe the amount of pain because of that lymphedema.
So
and I
this
can't
is
wear
a
like normal
constant
shoes and shit.
upkeep thing.
Yeah,
like you have to constantly upkeep this.
Right? Yeah. This is.
Oh my God.
Being healthy for you guys involves stuff like getting your exercise and eating right. Being healthy for me is like taking a cocktail of pills every day and maintaining my lymphedema and all that stuff. And I'm working on that every day. That's why it's a little more difficult to find in time to do some of the stuff that you guys do. But I'm also trying to find time to do that. And I need to because it's my life. I'm not making excuses. That's the primary purpose is to stay alive. Obviously, that's what we all do. Well, and so I'm trying to find the time every day to do that.
If you lose enough weight, will this go away? Like
the lymphedema will never go away. The symptoms will improve. Because obviously my heart will be able to keep up a little better. My lymph system will be able to keep up a little better. I take a diuretic, of course, too, to keep the water flowing, to keep it from getting on there. So I'm constantly dehydrated, which makes it easier to get out of breath. It triggers my asthma more often. It's a shitty situation, And that's what. I mean, I was always big. I was like 350 when I got lymphedema. I hit 550 because of the lymphedema. I was depressed. I didn't want to move. I couldn't walk. Hurt to stand. Hurt to lay down. Hurt to move. Food tasted good, though, still, so I ate food because it made me happy, but nothing else did. Yeah. I will do something for PK that I've never done on any YouTube channel if you want to see it. I will show you these legs.
We do. Shut up, Kyle.
All right.
I will.
Let's see if I can get these on camera. This is what my leg looks like. And this is the healthy one.
Flex your calf.
Oh, that looks...
Nice.
Watch this now. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can get it to do it here. Now I'm pressing into the spongy material, okay? And I'm gonna let. Oh God, this hurts. But then I'm gonna let go.
Don't do it if it hurts.
Look at this. Can you see the impression? Yeah, my leg is
depressed.
a fucking horror show.
Oh my goodness.
Okay? And then this is the unhealthy one. This is
before you do you have anything else you can press into it, like a toy or like a face imprint? Legos.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's see. I've got Illidan here. Let's see. I've got an Illidan pop vinyl laying nearby.
Oh, perfect.
This will be a particularly excruciating.
Your home looks beautiful, by the way.
Oh,
thank you. It's really nice, man. Thank you very much.
Don't do that. I feel like it's gonna pop.
Oh, the horns hurt so bad. Yeah. I was not prepared for this.
No pain, no gain, baby. Bring the burn.
Here we go.
I don't like any of
Nice.
Oh. How long does it stay like that?
That's its new look.
Forever. That's it.
So that's the point.
Oh my God, dude!
Is to get that
I like the ceilings. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, right. I like the ceilings too.
Very nice home.
That's
That's
nice
very
print work. Jamal
ceiling
learned
fan.
too.
Yeah, Jamal was not there.
Print work is hard.
When we moved into this place, it was move-in ready. Actually, it's a fairly newer home, and it only had one owner, and that owner took immaculate care of it. And we looked at several places, like brand new built, for the same price. And ultimately, what we liked about this one is we loved all the detailing, we loved everything. We had no wants or need to change it, and we really wanted to get out of the place we were living because our landlord was not a very good person. She was not a very kind landlord at all. Like. We 6 months ago, we reported a leak in the bathroom that was like leaking directly into the drywall. And she's like, all right, well, if you want to call a plumber to get it fixed, that's fine. But otherwise, I don't give a shit. And I'm like, whoa, we're moving.
That's what you want.
Right. And like the washing machine broke. And my friend who knows machines came over and he looked at it and he goes, yeah, it's just a $5 piece, but I'm not an electrician, so I really shouldn't replace it on her machine. And I called her and I'm like, it's a $5 piece. We know what the problem is. All you got to do is send a guy in to put it in. It'll probably run you $30-40. And she's like, nope, you want a new washing machine? Buy one or you can go to laundromat. I'm like, okay, so I bought one. And of course we took it with us. Right. I'm not going to buy her one. Anyway, when we moved out, we went back to get some stuff on our last day there, and the maintenance guy's there, and he's like, man, you really should have done something about this leak leaking into the drywall in the bathroom. And I'm like, hey, my place. I don't give a shit. Like, let it ruin the drywall. Let it ruin the neighboring duplex. Let it rot to the ground. I'm not going to spend my money to maintain your shit. That's ludicrous.
It looks like you moved up, though, man. Like, there's some nice crown molding.
Yeah,
it
it's
looks
beautiful.
like. Some
Show us the
smoking
ceiling. We
from
want to
paint.
see the ceiling.
Yeah, the ceiling's
awesome.
so nice.
It's a
Look at
very
this.
pretty ceiling.
It's a little
Nice.
high, so I'm going to have to really work on sound diffusion quite a bit to make get rid of the echo in here. But other than that, man, I mean, like, I love this place. I'm so happy we bought this. I want to do a house tour, but I'm afraid that's going to help people figure out which town we moved to and all that stuff. And I don't want my address leaked again because that sucks super bad. But then again, who knows? You know,
they'll
I
find
probably
it.
do the tour.
They'll find
But
it.
I'll tell you this, man. We got a bathtub, a jacuzzi tub, and it's the first time I've had a bath in like years because I've been stuck with showers for a while, and now I'm finally like getting in and out of the tub. I'm so happy. It helps my back so much. It helps my legs so much. It's so relaxing. I'll get in there for like 2 hours and watch Netflix or maybe Crunchyroll after I sign up at crunchyroll.com/PKA later tonight, of course.
Look at this guy.
You're the greatest.
I know the deal, baby.
Look
I
at
know
this
the deal. No, but I just having that tub alone was so worth it. Like that was worth every penny we spent. I'm so happy here. My wife loves it too, and happy wife, happy life, right? I mean, that's
Dude, that's a big deal. And if you figure that out, you're better for it.
But we saw pictures of this house. I'll tell you a story. This is as romantic as I get. Okay, when I saw my wife on MySpace, which is where we initially contacted each other back in 5 years ago now, 2010, I guess. I saw a picture of her, and I just knew. I saw that picture, and I'm like, I hadn't dated in about 2 years. I didn't care to date. The last girl I dated just ruined me. I was miserable. My mom had just passed. I wasn't even thinking about that. And I had determined I would never attempt to date again. Never going to get my heart broke again. Never going to put myself out there again. Besides, look at me. Who would want to date me, right? Like, I'm a pilot, whatever, you know? And so I saw that picture of my wife, and I immediately knew. I went, that's the girl. If I could be with a girl like this, if I could be with this girl, my world would be completely different. This is everything I ever wanted was this woman. And I did everything I could to convince her that I was worth having, and it was a lot of work. At first, we both agreed that it would never happen, and that's fine. We were friends, but it eventually just became that way. Well,
Wait. Pause right there. I want to know how you both realized this will never happen.
Okay. She was engaged to a man she didn't love and was afraid to break it off. She tried to break it off and had failed. So she was never going to marry him, but she couldn't. She even tried moving away, and he insisted on moving with her. It was real screwed up. And because of that situation, neither of us wanted to make a move. Nobody wanted to hurt this guy, you know? And so I'm like, look, if you ever clear up your business, give me a call and we'll talk, okay? But we still talked as friends for a while. And eventually one day she just calls me up and she's just like, hey, look, I had a big fight, and I think he's finally realized how it is, and I think we're going to make some changes. And I'm like, well, you call me in a couple of weeks when that happens. And she does. And then I'm like, well, why don't we wait a couple of months, and then maybe you can come see me and we'll see what happens. And she's like, all right, well, then she bought a plane ticket that night, but for 2 months away, and then she came to visit, and I mean, it was just meant to be, man. I mean, it really was. We fought it that whole time. I thought it was
the long con. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to date her before or since you met her?
About 7 months, give or take.
Okay.
Oh, you dirty dog!
Yeah, but I mean, I knew that I wanted to be with her, but we just knew it was not fair to the person she was with. It was not fair to her, so I just shut it down, and she shut it down every step of the way. Just every time we talk about it, we're like, nope, not a chance, not a chance, not a chance. But it just had to happen, you know?
I just think it's honorable that you gave a fuck about how other people in her life felt about it. That's never even crossed my mind as a thing to think about.
Well, he did not think of it that way, and I would imagine if I asked him today, he still would not see it that way. Because, I mean, he got really hurt in the end, and it did not matter how much we tried. But I wasn't for necessarily even for him that I was doing it. It was for me. I needed to be the good guy. I had been cheated on. Yeah. She had been cheated on. Neither of us wanted to do that to anybody else. We did it for us. I mean, at the end of the day, there is no such thing as a truly altruistic act. Well, anyway, we looked at, I would say, 24 houses, and each one had its pros and cons. Each one had, we got to work on this. We'll have to fix this. We'll have to rebuild that. We'll have to do this. This isn't right. I don't like this yard. I don't like this, whatever. Across 3 different towns. And then one night, I get an email from Trulia, or one of those. Right. And I look at that house, and I felt the exact same way about this house as I felt about the time I saw her. I said, that's the house I'm moving into. I brought my wife here 2 days later after it went on the market, and we walked into it, and she's like, oh my God, this is perfection. It's everything we wanted. It's perfect the way it is. And now we're in it. So that's two things I knew I wanted to get into.
That's awesome, man. I'm really happy for you.